everyone. This is Roman from the Chess Video Guide channel. Today I'm going to look at another tactical endgame. This game shows the connection between the opening, the middle game, and the endgame. So here we have a position that, looking at the ECO code, this came from the C3 Sicilian, and white has a pawn mass on the queen side here, and black has the pawn majority on the king side as well. So the question is whose pawns will be stronger, and who will be able to take better advantage of their of the strengths of their position. And the position is fairly concrete as well. I mean, the rook is now being attacked on e4. It has to find a good square to go to. White has to find a way to, regain those pawns, and he has to be kind of aware also that black might be able to support his pawns with g4, g5. So timing is crucial, and white has to find the precise move, and he did. So here white played rook takes on e7, an unforced exchange sacrifice, but a very good one, because with this he gains the very important b pawn, and after the rook retreats he also recaptures the pawn on f3, and here white's bishops and pawns are dominating the board. The pawns are about to advance, and the black rooks are not active enough to be a factor. So even though black is technically up on material here, from the human point of view it's very hard for him to play this position. So then black did not meet the challenges of this position. He went knight to g6, and after bishop d6 it turns out that the pawns are advancing. The black knight, on the other hand, is stranded, and it also is blocking his own pawns. So things are not looking good for black, and as we'll see, he was unable to save this. The knight is also unable to go, to leave that unfortunate square and go to the center, because if he, say, tries to do something like this, then immediately after rook e1, this is losing because it drops a rook, and otherwise there's no way to save the knight. So the knight is forced to to go to the edge of the board, but that is of course terrible, because now the pawns are advancing and this knight is completely out of play, and white's dominating, and the rest was really simple. It's natural for white to exchange the rooks, because now black has even fewer defenders, even fewer pieces will be able to stop the advance of the b pawn, which was really unstoppable. After 4, not really even a sacrifice, but it's pretty clear that black is unable to capture this bishop, because then b7, the pawn queens immediately. So black has to try to resist and play knight back to f5, but that walks into this rather obvious fork. And another tactical point, black is not really going to be up a piece for very long in this line, because then the pawn goes to b7 and it's game over. Pawn's going to promote. So after knight c4, black is able to stop the pawn for another move or two, but he resigned here in view of, well, say bishop d7, and if the knight goes, then the pawn goes, and if the king comes, the pawns just advance, and one of them will become a queen. So just an instructive example of how to use the idea from the opening and play for that queenside majority in the most effective way, not be afraid to sacrifice a little bit of material, because there really isn't much of a material investment, and just play for initiative and active placement of pieces. And there wasn't really much that black could do other than maybe not get into that position, but once he got into it, it was really hard to play from the human point of view, even if the computer may point out a little bit of an improvement here and there. So that's that.